Hello everyone, welcome to my critical reflection of ICU. Greetings, I am Jennifer Blandon. I'm part of the production of ICU along with Shivani Rambaran, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right, and Sarah Alexander. Together we created the opening of ICU, a mystery slash suspense film about officers who are trying to uncover a murderer who stalks high school girls before killing them. Now, the pictures you see before you are Sarah Alexander on the left, Shivani Rambaran on the right, and me in the middle. I believe some conventions are open and could have or how high the music is. This was made to help build tension. Perhaps the use of a grain effect is used to make the opening appear more serious as the camera slowly and steadily moves while focusing on the girl at the same time. As the camera zooms in on the phone by the girl's body in the crime scene, it uses a fade to black transition to mean that the phone is an important item in the next scene. In our opening, there's a girl seen wearing white who turns out to be one of the stalker's victims. The color white is meant to represent innocence and purity. The reason we chose this color for the girl was so the audience would know how innocent the girl was. It was also so the audience would realize that the girl didn't deserve getting killed because she didn't do anything wrong. The stalker wearing a black hoodie to hide themselves is clearly meant to make them more mysterious, to keep the audience's attention as they question the stalker's identity. Some of the issues the film may talk about can be the issue of stalking, as the girl had someone stalking her before she was killed. The reason why half of the opening is in black and white was to make it look like a flashback after a fade to black is used to transition between the crime scene and the flashback. The music is also part of mise-en-scene. In both scenes, the music in the background is different to represent that the scenes are separated from each other. In the flashback, it builds up to the moments where the stalker sends an ominous text that will later lead to the girl's death. Our targeted audience is meant to be adults and teenagers who enjoy mystery suspense films. To market our film towards that audience, we could show television advertisements and advertise the film online. By online advertisements, I mean those ads before an online video starts. Since teenagers are always online, they'll see the ad for the film. Of course, they might choose to skip the ad, which is a downside to this method. Since streaming is also a popular service that people use to watch shows and films, we could also pitch our film to some or a streaming service in the hopes of people using said service would see it and would get interested in watching. Personally, I've kind of enjoyed working on this, especially the storyboard and editing. I've gotten used to editing on Clipchamp and WeVideo. I've learned how to add more tracks, how to add credits, and how to change the color of the scene without relying on filters, and how to download music from YouTube. Storyboarding was one of my favorite parts, mainly because I got to draw my parts myself. It's like putting together which parts go where and what happens at what part. For me, learning how to storyboard and edit seems like an important skill to know in the future, especially when it comes to careers. While making the opening, we also had to write an entire story for the film. I mean, it's a good idea to have the story straight, so while making an official opening, you'll know what you're doing. But running it and trying to produce ideas on what happens next was difficult. Although filmmaking isn't easy and it may seem difficult, but seeing what you create come to life at the end is worth it. This whole project was an overall learning experience, especially when we didn't have much to work with. While recording, we just had Shivani use her phone to record the shots, and for editing, we used WeVideo on the school computers. While using WeVideo, there wasn't a filter to make the flashback scene black and white, so instead we changed the coloring of the footage. By lowering the saturation, removing the hue in settings, we practically made our own black and white filter. We also made the scene a bit darker so it would look more like nighttime. Messing around with these types of settings also taught me what to do when an editing software doesn't have filters. It's also good to know what these filters do when you work on other digital projects that require you to change the color of something.